Good morning, Noodlers. We are live here with the Sell a House Wholesale Real Estate Training number 98. John's getting some exercise in. I'm freezing my booty off here in South Lake Tahoe, California on a brisk, beautiful 33-degree morning where I know you guys down there in the Phoenix area have already exceeded the high that I'm going to see today. You're probably already close and approaching 80, and all I'm going to see today is 62. But it's beautiful, and you know what? This is what we're here for. This is why we're working in this business, is because you know what? We need to be able to set ourselves up so that we can be hanging out in beautiful remote locations while the wholesale real estate business is still happening down there in sweaty, hot summertime Phoenix, Arizona. And then we can come back there in the beautiful wintertime and have the lovely weather to go out there and refresh our skills and have some fun and get out there and put some ink on some contracts ourselves and do all that fun stuff that we love to do, the reason why we got into this business. But hey, why suffer through the heat if you can set yourself up and position yourself in a way that you can play a key role from a remote location but not have to be in the hot. Good morning, John. What do you say to that?
Good morning. What I have to say to that is, it was beautiful this morning here in Phoenix, Arizona. When I got up this morning about 6:15, I usually in the summertime, as it approaches the warmer seasons, I'll start getting up probably close to 4:35 because of how hot it gets. But we're already almost 80 degrees, and quite frankly, Paul, I'm breaking a sweat. And if by this time next year, I think I will be on Long Beach in New York for the next 4 or 5 months. Let me think. No, not quite yet. Labor Day would be a good time to go down to New York and start getting down on the beach, because it's probably similar to the Tahoe weather there. But that's the beauty of what we're doing here in wholesale real estate. And what's awesome about it is, systems. That's what the Property Noodlers are all about. That's what Paul and I are on here talking about 3 days a week. We're on 98, which means we're having our 100th anniversary on Friday, which is awesome. But you know what allows people to live in any location they want and have money coming in, whether they get up and go and work for it or not, or maybe they do get up and go and work for it or not, but they can do things from remote locations, the whole idea of, flipping houses in your underwear type of thing. Systems. That's what makes that possible, and that's what property noodling is. It's a system. Paul and I have developed a system that is actually quite easy. Almost anyone can do it.
That's right.
Almost anyone. Not everyone can do it, and I'll tell you why. Because it's all about you, and you have to be the right person, and you have to be willing to take some freaking hardcore actions. But I'm going to throw it back over to Paul here. I want to get into something, but I've got to go grab a calculator because I had a deal over the weekend that's just going to blow everybody's mind. In fact, I blew Paul's mind at around 10:40 last night with this, but I want to talk about that here in a minute. So, Paul, I'm going to toss it back over to you. I had come out. It's such a beautiful day. I'd come outside with the computer, and I left some of my notes and stuff on the desk inside, so I got to go run in and grab that stuff.
We'll excuse you. Yeah, you know what? We've perfected some systems. I wouldn't even say perfected them yet. We've implemented some systems into the Noodler program that are just taken off big time, and we're in the throes of perfecting it. And here's the funny thing: we had a system in place for this, and John and I thought it was great. And as we brought team members on, they thought it sucked, and in actuality, it did suck, and we know it sucked, and we did know it. It was just too cumbersome. There was too many. It just wasn't functioning properly, and it was very easy to have things get lost and misplaced and whatnot. And we implemented a system, a new system, and it's been chaos. implementing a new system can be chaos. We thought we could like make a very slow transition with this, and after just a few short days of this slow transition, we realized if we don't get this done like ASAP, it's going to create a big, monstrous, horrendously ugly mess that's going to be impossible to clean up. So we really just had to throw into it, just bombard the system, completely throw everything in there, and then start working it out. So we've done that. It's been at least, 10 days, 2 weeks since we started working on that, 2.5 weeks, but actually probably more like about 3 weeks really, and we're still not 100%, gotten everything in place and everything. There's still some bugs to work out of the system, some things to figure out. We'll probably have another couple of weeks, but by the time this is over, this alone is going to create so much free time for us that we're going to be able to focus more on all the stuff that we were losing before that we won't be losing now, and just be able to be so much more productive and successful by implementing one simple system. So, finding systems, leveraging technology, utilizing the manpower of other people, which that's the next step after we get to this. We have some more technology that's going to have to be implemented behind this to maintain some of the productivity that this is going to produce, and we're going to be needing some more manpower. So the Noodler opportunity is once again going to be opening up. So get ready to start sending out your emails to us and get on board. Anyway, with that, John has a deal that, thanks to our conversion into this new system, came out of the woodwork. Actually, this is one that was in the old system, kind of got snaggled off into the side somewhere, misplaced a little bit. Some information was missing, and with the new system, it popped up. It came to our attention. We made the connection, and we scored this deal that looked like a really nice deal to begin with, and suddenly, overnight, turned into an amazing deal.
Yes. One of the things we do here with our company is it's really about helping people. So this deal that Paul's talking about, it's a house in a town called El Mirage. And hold on a sec. Puppy, stop. My dog's licking my leg. It's just really gross and distracting right now. I got to bring the thought back to the forefront of the mind. I apologize, everybody. ADD, go away. Anyways, this property out in a town here called El Mirage, which is pretty much in the Phoenix metro area, we had been on our list. Like Paul said, we had a system in place for tracking and keeping track of leads, and we knew it wasn't quite efficient. A lot of the team members, any of you guys watching now, probably know what we're talking about. It was simple for Paul, I, and one of our other partners who created it, but it just wasn't simple enough for our team to grasp. And it's not their fault. You got to create a system that's easily duplicatable. That's the key word, easily duplicatable. And our previous system was not easily duplicatable. So things were getting lost, leads weren't being followed up with, deals were actually being lost, foreclosures were happening, and money was being left on the table. So we get this new system in place, which we're probably, I'd say, less than 2 weeks from having 100% up and running. I mean, it's up and running now at about 90% capacity. There's a few tweaks to be made, but we're so excited about it, and so is the team, about how simple this thing is. So that's the long story. The short story is, in putting this system together and the capability, we're now able to stay on top of our, is that Mark? We're now able to stay on top of our lead generation and our follow-ups. So back to this deal on El Mirage. I had this deal come, this follow-up come to my attention, and knocked on the guy's door, spoke with them, and boom, he was in the exact motivating situation we would have guessed he was in, and he was ready to sell. And the property ARVs at about 120. There was a lot of different liens and things going on with the property, totaling about $55,000. So we agreed to basically net him $3,700. Well, all the title reports came in, Paul, at the end of the weekend, and the different negotiations with the lien holders and everything like that. And we were able to turn a deal that we were out the door on for about $60,000 to now being out the door on a $120,000 property that needs 15 grand worth of work at $18,000. $102,000 spread. We can wholesale this deal right now today and make ourselves 60 grand by putting up for only having put up $100 deposit. Now, deals like this don't happen every day, but they do happen. And the reason they happen is because you go out there and you push yourself through all the $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 deals. We happen to average about $12,000 a wholesale deal right now in the Phoenix market, which is exceptional. It seems like the margins lately have been a little tighter. We seem to be doing more in the range of $7,000. But every once in a while, you get that wholesale deal, which is life-changing. Do you realize that if you learn this system and you spent the next 4 months and you found one deal that made 60 grand, I guarantee for most of you, it's probably 30% higher than your yearly income, which means one deal you could basically quit your job, have enough money in the bank to live the whole year, and you have already earned more money than you would at your hourly job. That's what a system, a business system, does for people. That's what it does for Paul. And this is on the heel of a deal that's netting us $31,000. And we found both of these deals within 2 days of each other. And with our system, we're getting deals every 2 or 3 days. It's not always that big, but it's just explosive. When you learn how to wholesale properties, you learn all the in and outs. The sky's the limit with this thing, but here's the beauty. You don't need to learn everything to start. Imagine, joining Paul and I's team, which we're not charging people to do, by the way. It's like going back to college, and you earn as you learn. Paul asked me a question about 30 minutes ago about if you could go back to school and learn A, B, and C, would you do it? So I'm going to toss it back over to Paul to talk about that.
Well, let me ask these people the question. Did you, whether you went to college or not, maybe in high school even, or maybe you went to some junior college, or you only had a couple of years of it or whatever, but at any point in time from high school on in your education, did you enroll in the curriculum courses that were called the Achieve Financial Freedom in 3 years or less after graduation curriculum? Did any of you enroll in that? You didn't. Well, why wouldn't you enroll in something like that? All the other courses and classes and everything else give you all this information, teach you all this stuff. None of them taught you any of that, did they? And these classes, you didn't enroll in these classes. Why? Because they aren't offered. That's why. They don't offer these classes. They give you all the junk, all the stuff, all this information, fill your head with a bunch of garbage so you can go out and get a job and become a slave to the system. That's what it's all about. So, with that in mind, wholesale real estate is a way to potentially achieve financial freedom in 3 years or less. Now, I will say that if you join a system, if you join a group or a program where you have some mentors who can teach you and help you learn and grow, that you can, reach that kind of potential within a short period of time. If you go out there and try to do it on your own, with all that education you got from school, guess what? You're going to be like John and I. It's probably going to take you 3 years before you get to that point where you can start doing it, opposed to joining a team who's already done so and start doing it from day one. Now, another thing that you mentioned in there, John, was that this monstrous deal came on the heels of a $30,000 deal, and it's also preceding a $16,000 deal, another potential probably $20,000 deal, another small $5,000, $7,000 deal, and then we have what? How many? 3 on the pipeline that should be contracted by next week. They're all going to be, within the $7,000 to $20,000 range probably. So with those kind of numbers, pulling some deals down like that, like John says, even if you knock out 3 of these, and I mean, if you could only knocked out 3 of these in a year, and you only did, say, that's 3, 9 other deals. If you only did like average a deal a month, at the average of what you're talking about, $5,000, $7,000, but you knocked out 2 or 3 of these a year, you're pretty well off. Like I said, John says, you're probably quitting your job because you probably got, a couple of years' salary in the bank by now. Amazing stuff. I want to add one more thing because I want to throw one more thing back to you, John, because you started this thing off by saying that we're in the business of helping people, and you just presented this this deal that turned into something super amazing potential for us to make a boatload of cash off of, but we're in the business of helping people. And the person who is selling this property is in a very bad situation. And so we've been discussing some alternatives on, how we can still make a boatload of money and how we can best, benefit this seller as well too. Why don't you give the people a little bit of insight on that, John, as far as, how what we're willing to do on behalf of the seller here to make, create a true win-win situation for everyone involved.
What you want me to specifically get into my idea for this particular deal? Was it?
Yeah. Just throw it out there. How we're going to try to help this guy even further than just put $3,700 in his pocket.
Well, one of the ways in which I got the guy to agree to give us such a smoking deal on the property is something called human equity, which is what you're going to want to, kind of a concept I learned from a local wholesaler here, Elijah Rubin. I'll give a shout out to the future fire damage king, Elijah. I want to throw that out there about him. Keep your eyes open for this guy because he's going to be huge. I just know it. He's awesome. Anyways, the idea of human equity, and that's there's certain things that are worth more than money to people. So this particular guy is in a really bad situation. He's been living in the house that we're buying for 3 years in Phoenix, Arizona, with no power and no water. It's got to be brutal in the summertime. I just don't understand how you can live in a house with no AC, no water to even soak yourself in a freaking tub for 3 consecutive summers. It's got to be over 120 degrees in that house, and he's got 3 dogs. So the stink must be just unbearable. So he's got that to contend with. He's got the fact that he's got no place to go after he sells the home. And you go, well, why is he selling you guys the home? He can't keep the home. That's the bottom line. He's also got a truck that can't pass emissions, and I also have a truck, coincidentally, that can't pass emissions. My solution is I'm buying a new truck, especially knowing that I'll be making probably close to $100,000 by the end of this month.
But at least your truck has first and second gear.
At least, well, my truck drives. His doesn't even have first and second gear. So what I'm saying is and he has no place to go after this deal closes. So here's what we've structured here, and the reason I'm throwing this out there is so you get the idea of the human equity part when it comes to negotiating people, getting deals, is you've got to be able to earn their trust and give them something other than dollars to make them feel good about selling you the house. It's such an insane discount, is that we've given them 30 days to stay in the house after closing. Well, the amazing part, he's going to have power and water on here in the next probably week and a half. When we get the thing closed and we get the ball rolling here, we've given him 30 days because he needs the cash basically to fix his truck. We've arranged to help him move his stuff out of the home into a storage unit and get his truck fixed for him. So there's some costs to us, here, and some things we're going to be doing. So we are getting a good deal, don't get me wrong, but there's other costs involved than just the purchase of the home. The human equity side is that we're giving him 30 days to stay in the house. We're arranging for his stuff to be moved and put into storage, prepaid for 3 months. And we've also agreed to not pay for, but arrange a mechanic to come and fix his truck. So we've done these couple things for him. Then there's another piece that came into play because of a seller I met with over the weekend that has an over-encumbered property as far as myself as a wholesaler is concerned. I basically contracted this over-encumbered property at about $2,000 over what he owes, so this guy could have something in his pocket to walk out of there with. And you're saying, what kind of guy, investor, would buy an over-encumbered property and then spend another $2,000 over the over-encumbrance? Well, because the guy in El Mirage, he needs a place to live. And the guy with this over-encumbered property, he needs to get out. Guess what we've done? We're buying the guy in El Mirage, potentially buying the guy in El Mirage a house. You go, wait a second. That's insane. Why would you guys do that? Here's why. Because, you know, we've netted the guy $3,700 on the assumption that we were going to be buying this property out the door at about $60,000. We're now converting that $3,700 offer into putting $30,000 into his pocket. We're still making out. We're still getting out the door on that deal at about $44,000. Okay? What's he going to do with this 30 grand? Well, he's going to take $27,000 of it. He's going to buy that condo, that over-encumbered condo. So we've got that thing out the door at 19. I'm negotiating with the HOA on Wednesday to get it out the door at 14. So we're gonna make what is that?
Eight or more.
$8,000 to $13,000 back from him by selling him this condo. And now we're helping two people. We're helping, well, we'll call him Miguel. That's his name. We're helping Miguel to get the $2,000 he wants out of his condo because he needs to get out. We're taking this guy that's got this house in El Mirage, and we're actually now, instead of moving him into a storage unit, we're going to be moving him into this house. And at the end of the day, we're still going to be making an insane amount of money, but we've helped now two people with situations that to them is overwhelming, and they had no solution for. Boom, boom, now we have a solution for both these people. They win, they feel good. Paul and I feel good because we know we've got big payday coming for this help, and you know what? The universe is rewarding us in abundance because we've helped two people that have run into a seriously bad position in their life. I'm going to toss it back over to Paul to kind of maybe clarify a few of the details there, but that's the power behind what we have the potential to do when we know this business and we take it from the mindset of we're not just out there wholesaling properties to make a living. Well, we're in wholesale real estate not just to make a living but to build wealth, but we're helping people. And in that process, we are making a large income because of the law of income, which states you are paid in direct proportion to the values that you deliver to the marketplace, and we're all about delivering value.
100% value is what it's all about. And, you know, I'm going to go and just say that, you know, we could be in this situation right here with these two properties that John just described. We could be general, greedy, cutthroat investors and just say, man, we can bank buku bucks on this deal and forget those people. You know, they got themselves into this situation and, you know, they get what they deserve. And, you know, we could do that. And there's dozens of people out there that would do exactly that. And they would make probably, what, $100,000 off these two properties. You know, yeah, are we giving up some cash? 100% we're giving up some cash. Are we giving up a lot of cash? No, not really. Because like John said, we're going from a difference of, you know, what, like 12 to 30,000. There's $20,000 difference there or something like that, but we're recouping 8 to 12 of it back. So we're only really giving up about 10 grand out of this whole deal, and we're still going to be making lots and lots of money off of these deals. But the human equity portion that we're putting into this, the ability to help these two people out of these situations, not just in a manner where, hey, here's a few bucks, get the heck out, good luck, Charlie, but no, more like, hey, look, here's a situation where you can not only get out of this property, but you can move over here, and we probably might even offer Miguel and put it in Miguel's pocket a little bit, an extra $1,000 or something like that, just to give this person a little bit of a better leg up on his next step as he moves on from his unit. So it makes sense. It's the right thing to do, and quite honestly, I know I'm going to sleep a whole lot better at night knowing that we did do the right thing on this, and not just being able to look at my bank account and going, oh, look at all this money I made. You know what? I'd rather see less money in the bank account and be able to close my eyes and put my head on the pillow and sleep well than to look at all that money in the bank and be sitting up at night going, man, those poor guys. You know what I mean? That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the noodler difference. That's what property noodling is all about. Human equity and serving others and doing the right thing and turning bad situations into good situations and win, win, win for everyone involved the best way as possible. And yes, like John said, we're going to be rewarded, in abundance for doing this. This is one of our rewards right here for some people that we just helped out of some situations similar to these. So, those were some messy, long, drawn-out, costly situations that, quite honestly, we didn't even have the money we had to borrow some money to finish them out and do some things. But you know what? We stuck to what we were planning to do for these people. We got it done. We did something good for them, and here we are being rewarded now with an opportunity to really help some other people and get some big paydays, because we didn't get big paydays off the other one. We got very, 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 very little paydays off the other ones, but we helped some people out of some tough situations, and then they were, difficult. They were difficult deals to work, long, drawn-out, time-consuming, and costly deals. And because we stuck to it, did what we had contracted and talked about doing in the first place, now we're being rewarded. And that's what's going to happen for you on the Noodler team, is because you're going to be doing the same thing. You're not just going to be scoring a deal because somebody's in a bad situation and saying, hey, buddy, thanks for your house, good luck, see you later, and taking a big fat check to the bank. You're going to be looking at this person's situation, saying, well, what do you need? How can we help you too? All right, let's do this deal this way, and this way everybody wins. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I love it, because I just want to reiterate what the law of income states, and is that it states that you are paid in direct proportion to the value that you deliver to the marketplace. And if you're out there taking advantage of people, you won't be in business very long. I believe that, Paul and I right now could easily walk out of that El Mirage property at $17,000 and, have that insane spread. In fact, the Miguel property I was talking about, I could team up with one of these wholesalers out here in Phoenix that has retail buyers that finance through hard money that would pay retail for the condo. And yes, we'd probably make about $15,000, maybe $20,000 more doing it that way. But I couldn't live with myself knowing that I have this potential to really help both these people in a bigger way with $15,000 when you were looking at making 80 grand. It's kind of insignificant. Do you want to sacrifice your integrity as a person to not provide the human equity that you have the potential to provide people to make an extra 15 grand when you're going to make almost 80 freaking grand anyway? I think that's what separates the successful people and the happy people from the sharks that are gonna, and everybody at the end of the day, in my feeling and what I see, gets their just desserts, gets their rewards. And I'm scared to death that if we do take advantage of the situation for an extra $15,000, that the universe will shut us down real quick. So I just want to keep that momentum of helping people and providing human equity, because that gets rewarded. You are paid in direct proportion to the value delivered to the marketplace, and we're delivering a lot of value here, and we're going to make big on these deals. But because of what we do here and our willingness to do this with all the people that we do business with, and this is basically the vision and the mission of Property Noodlers and Sell a House Arizona, is to provide value. We are beginning to be rewarded in abundance for what we do, and I don't want to jinx it. So, you know, that's basically the message here, is that, you know what, there's money to be made when you're providing people with value. There's a lot of different ways to go about property noodling. You want to learn the right way to do it. You want to learn from guys that have a lot of integrity, that are truly in the business to help the people that we're buying these houses from to accomplish their goals as well as our own. You're going to want to join this team and go back to school, learn how it's done, and you could be earning, one deal could be earning you your year's salary. So with that being said, I'm going to toss it back to Paul. We're right at 9 o'clock to kind of close us out with his last thought and the Napoleon Hill prayer.
Yeah, it's just like John said, it's all about delivering value. And the way that we deliver value is we're not just a wholesale company. We're not just a house flipping organization. What we are here is a real estate-based solutions company. And what we are all about is we are where solutions are created. And that's our tagline. That's what we sell to people. That's what we sell. And that's what we present to people, is we are where solutions are created. If you have a problem, bring it to us. Let us create a solution that's going to give you the best possible results that you can walk out that door with. That's what it's all about. That's delivering value. And with that, O universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom, with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever end I might desire through delivering value to others. And that's it for a new op day, and it's going to be a wonderful week. I hope you all are going to enjoy the week as we are, and I just don't know what else to say except see you on Wednesday, I guess.
Excellent.